Hi everyone. How cool is this? I got a little mic if you want to have a look at it. It's this. Well, it's obviously supposed to clip on to your clothing. I don't know. I think I kind of jammed it in there because I can't get it out now, but it's fine. There's another one. I literally got it from Amazon. I can link the one that I got. I think the audio quality is pretty good. This literally makes me feel like a legit YouTuber. But, I use ChatGPT to know what's really important for a good YouTube video, and the audio and sound quality was like the first thing that it brought up, and it recommended this as a mic, and I just wanted to try it out. And I've been really loving it for like 2, 3 times I've used it, but I really hope this can give me better audio. I know sometimes also this is just me in my life. I'm not audible. Like I feel like I say stuff, but it's like I'm muttering, and it does make me a bit like annoyed at myself. So if I ever do that, I apologize in advance, and I definitely want to get better at that. But for my day review, it's actually 12 a.m. now, and it's really weird because I feel like I'm in high spirits. I think because I know it's the weekend, so coming up. So I think it's just like I can actually sleep in and catch up on some sleep, which is always nice. Ideally, I would love to keep to the same structure of going to bed and waking up the same day, so same time every day, but that's just not happening right now, and that's fine. It's just something I can definitely and I want to work on. But overall, for my day, even though I went to bed late last night around 1, I felt like I was like okay. Again, I think it being a Friday puts things into perspective of just, grind it out for the day and then you can like rest during the weekend. I had a few things on. It wasn't a hectic day. Fridays normally aren't hectic for me, but I think more and more I'm starting to notice the trends in my behavior, and I've always known these sort of things that I do, but trying to more figure out like, okay, I don't want to stick to the pattern of always doing the same thing. Like, I want to actually do something different to have a different outcome, and I guess this is like one of the things I'm doing to try and, hopefully by talking it out and reflecting, seeing ways that I could do things differently. But I think, and I just realized the whole time I've been staring at myself in the screen, so I do apologize for that as well. But yeah, I think one thing for me that I really want to tackle is my avoidant behavior of like, oh, I'm intimidated by this task or I've neglected this. I don't want to, like, it's not that I don't want to do it, but maybe it kind of scares me in. I think it's this thing of like, oh, I'm scared if I do it and people realize that I've left it to the last minute, or it's this fear of like, what if I can't figure it out? Which is like, even if you get to that end point, at least you've known that you've tried everything, and I think that's just as important. So, but I think it's just like reminding yourself in those moments and doing things to feel like okay, to at least take some sort of small, like some small sort of small step, like during that. Now you can tell that I'm tired. Some sort of step in that direction. Sorry. But yeah, I think those are the things I really want to focus on. And I think the more and more I'm starting to understand really what my priorities are, because there is a lot of things that you always want to work on at the same time. And that's like an issue I always face is I want to do like so many things at once, but hey, let's just break that down, actually do something, focus, commit to it, and then move on to the next thing. And I have always had that mentality of starting something and then moving on to something else and saying, I'm going to get back to that first thing. But it's like, why? You could just finish it, know that task is done, and then move on to the next thing. So, definitely just things that I definitely want to, like, improve and keep in the back of my mind, that I don't want to keep repeating the same old habits. Because I went to bed late, I did wake up later. So, my first alarm is at 5:45 a.m. because I start work at 8 a.m. And I do go in, but I woke up at like 6:20. I was so tired, I could tell. And because of that, I didn't really do much. I did do my Duolingo, hopefully, because I was meant to check and I haven't, and it's now the next day. So fingers crossed I actually did it because I don't want to lose my streak. I did eat breakfast. I've been really, so for context, my breakfast is I would want a piece of fruit, but I should have bought more when I went grocery shopping. But right now, what it would be is like a piece of fruit with like this eggplant dip. I think it's from Yumi, the brand. And just literally, I have this like really small like pan just to make eggs on, and I just kind of scrambled 2 eggs in there, which is salt and pepper. But we've had some leftover red onion that we had one night when we were cooking. I think it was like the Mexican meatballs or something, And honestly, adding that to that little scrambled egg thing is like changed my life. Now that I think about it, I actually have some scrambled egg seasoning as well, which I could literally put in as well. But I'm actually happy just salt and pepper, but no, the onions, because you know when onions kind of caramelize and they become a bit sweet, it's so nice. So, and that with the dip is really good. I have been so picky with breakfast, and then in the car I'll normally have an up and go. I didn't this morning, but I don't know why. It just makes me feel more full. Or so I think. I think I just like the habit of having it. Even though I hate the taste, honestly. Not the taste, the way like it's in your breath after you have that. Um, Sorry, what was I even saying? Yeah, it took me forever to find the right breakfast for me, and I've been doing this for a little bit now, for a few months, and I'm really still enjoying it because I like the variation of if I get sick of the dip, I can change the dip. If I don't have to do the same fruit every day, I can change that up. The eggs seem to be the one thing that stays, but even with that, do I want to literally add red onion or like onion? Can I put cheese in it? I think because for me, I'm someone who can't do the same thing every single day. I really struggle with that, especially with food. It actually makes me feel sick if I eat the same thing over and over again. And props to the people that can do that because I just genuinely can't. But I like that I can make it consistent and it's not something I have to think about. But if I do get bored, there's things I can mix it up, which is always really nice. But yeah, I'm like so grateful to find the breakfast that works for me because I literally felt like I was trying everything. Like, I think I did oats, porridge, cereal, like a fruit mix of fruit, even like tried like making like this like Chinese congee recipe that I thought I could meal prep, but like nothing was working and it was getting to a point where I was like, oh my god, do I just literally not eat breakfast? But I cannot function if I don't eat breakfast. Like I just feel hungry and I think that's the only thing that's on my mind. But yeah, no, definitely grateful to have found that. I left a lot later than I meant to, so I should be leaving. Ideally, my like dreams leaving the house time would be 6:50, but that has honestly never happened recently or maybe for the past year or so. But normally I should leave around 7 latest, but I left at 7:20 and luckily because traffic has been so good, which I feel like next week it won't be, but yeah, I was able to get to work on time still. Even though I was tired, I feel like I managed pretty well today. I just felt like there were things I wanted to get done, and honestly, the day just went so quick. I think one thing I do want to talk about, and this is something I really struggle with, is like I just want to get things done, and I think when I have meetings at work, although I know obviously it's a work commitment, I think because to me the work is the things that you actually do like after a meeting, like the things that you can actually action, right? So even though I know meetings is work, it's that mindset of yeah, but the work is the stuff you do afterwards. So I think there's a sense of guilt if I like just leave and I'm like, I didn't really get much done today. And I think it's really looking at my time management and what I want to really prioritize, right? So, in just talking about that, I feel like today, like, because I was meant to have dinner with my family and we were going to go to the city and we were supposed to go have dinner. My mum booked it for 6:30 and I know it's going to take me like an hour to get home and then like about 40 to 50 minutes to get to the city. But like just as I was about to leave or like get ready to wrap up, I got like a message from someone in like, somewhere else being like, hey, are you online to do this task? And I feel like because I've been waiting, like we've been having a back and forth and it was like, I am there. I just wanted to get it done, right? And I knew that was going to set me back. And then I did talk a little bit after work to some people there, just like, about weekend plans because I'm like, I don't want to be rude and just leave. But I think it's sometimes hard. It's really conflicting for me to set boundaries because it's like I wanted to do all of that, but then I also understand like that's disrespectful to my family and their time because I did run late and the booking was at 6:30 and by the time me and my sister got to the city because my mom was already there, it was around like 6:40 something, like 6:45, and we got to the restaurant at like 6:50, and like I know they weren't happy with me about it and I felt really bad that like, they weren't happy. And I think sometimes for me it's really hard of knowing like what's the right choice to make or like is sometimes a decision that like the right decision is that the decision that I necessarily want, because I don't want to make people upset with me, but at the same time it's like, if I didn't do that task, it would have been like maybe a little bit more back and forth. And obviously if I didn't do it, they would have to respect that, and they would, the person would just have to like try and get a hold of me on like Monday. But I don't know, I feel like I do this a lot where I like sometimes do things and I know like that might, push things back for other people, or like I might not be able to, like, I think it's just knowing like, okay, I have this thing, how am I gonna prioritize my time that I could like, go do that commitment that I said yes to. So I guess it's not like unfair for the people that I said yes to. Um Yeah, I think another thing is also like in work, like luckily I'm in a management position, and I think maybe a bit of imposter syndrome kicking in, being like, oh, when things get brought up, it's always like, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll action this. But realizing that kind of can be ineffective sometimes, and can cause delays for things where you have a team of people that they can do like the work, and they can also follow things up. So it's also not being like, I'm going to delegate all these things to me to just keep adding more to my pile and not getting anything done, because that's my issue of sometimes feeling like I'm doing everything but nothing at the same time, and not being like, oh, I feel like I'm getting the things done that I actually feel like are adding value to the business and are like needle movers. Yeah, and I think just not giving myself to action things, honestly, not planning things, not having a system of this is what I want to do. Obviously, things will always come up, and you have to be realistic about that, or things become a priority that you would have never anticipated. Like, that's life, right? But it's more that thing of, I know I have these long-term projects with work in my life as well. What am I doing to actually achieve it? And to be honest, YouTube has always been something I've always dreamt of, having a YouTube channel. I'm glad I'm doing it now. I think there are certain things like this where I don't want to think too much about, because I feel like that would intimidate me and definitely make me avoidant. But there are other things where I feel like if I broke it down, I could realize how manageable it could become. So I guess it's differentiating between the two of like what's actually important for me to plan. I mean, obviously with work that would be important, because then I can actually, delegate and like figure out how to actually tackle things. But I guess more in my personal life, maybe that's where it's just about just doing what I want to. Yeah, making big tasks, just breaking it down. I guess just a really big highlight for the week. Like, I feel like now that we're like at a Saturday now, is like I just been really loving doing these videos when I've forever, like honestly, ever since I've started watching YouTube when I was like 10 years old, or like, yeah, I think I was around 10. I've always wanted to have my own channel, and I used to make videos, I would edit them. All I had to do was put it on YouTube, and I'd be so scared. Maybe I'm not scared because I know no one's watching these right now, and that's fine. But yeah, it's just been like, I just didn't realize how much I'd enjoy doing this, even though I know that no one's watching it. Like, I've been learning a little bit every day, and it makes me so happy. Like, learning how to use the mic today, that was fun. Learning stuff about iMovie, how to edit. Like, I don't know, it's just like, I think it's just doing something for yourself that you know that you've always wanted to do can be so satisfying, even if like right now there's like nothing really out of it, but just being like, oh, I'm just so glad I'm doing something that I've always wanted to do. So I feel like that's definitely been like my highlight of the week, all the learning and just putting myself out there in this way. Now to the fun part of stats. I'm also trying to figure out if I want to do the stats on the weekend, because I feel like I would do it, but I'll evaluate if that's something I want to do. Just because obviously you know, I don't have to do like proper work on the weekend, but maybe for now, until I have more of a system just to get on top of things. I don't know. I just need to figure that out, because there's that side, but then there's also socializing, cleaning up the house, like, figuring out stuff in my own personal life. Like, there's only so much time for everything. Um, but yeah, just for a quick recap, because this video has actually become really long. Tabs at my work has gone up again back to 97. I just need to be better at closing tabs. Honestly, emails at work has also gone up to 293, which isn't really looking good. I feel like this is the point where I really need to get a hold of it before it just becomes worse and worse. tabs on my phone are at 57, tabs on my laptop is at 44, and emails is at 1033. I feel like everything has jumped up, and there's really been no effort to manage it day to day this week. But I think that's a good reflection for me, knowing next week if I can try tackle some of this on the weekend, I can hopefully start next week strong. That's everything I had. Thanks for watching, and now I hope you enjoy my room review. Bye. Hi everyone. Let's do another room reveal. Let's start off in the bathroom. It looks pretty much the same as yesterday. It definitely looks a lot cleaner. We definitely obviously have points to address here of declutter. Got rid of that literally empty body lotion, like little container, whatever you call it. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. I'm trying to film, I can literally show myself holding a little mic. You can see it there. So I'm sorry if it's a bit weird. My bathroom still needs to be cleaned. Things I'm hoping to get to on the weekend. And then we have my wardrobe, which really isn't much progress. My clothes are all put away, I guess. And then there's just all the stuff on the floor that needs to be addressed. And then all the other areas are pretty much the same. So hopefully by outing myself for a couple of videos now, I'll finally be in the space to go, hey, let's actually do something about this, and have more of a system of how I want to declutter everything, because it's definitely something that I need to go over. And there is definitely a lot of stuff down the stairs that I need to go through as well. So that's my room review for today.